Hey, what's up you guys? It's Six. Welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to touch a little bit on art block. It is the main focus of this video, but it is by no means like a full extensive thing about how I deal with art block, because if you are new to the channel, I have been talking about wanting to do a really long form video about art block since the summer, but just the scale that I want this video to be, because I want it to be really long, I want it to be really in-depth, so that it's like it has a lot of information and also has a lot of space for people to possibly relate to and understand, and then maybe use those things to kind of help them if they are in the middle of experiencing art block. But at the current level of my editing skills, I don't think I'm quite there as far as getting that video out goes, so I figured I would touch on it a little bit, because I recently made somewhat of a breakthrough, I guess you could say, where I really feel like I'm coming out of it and sticking to that. Whereas for the past 2 years, and I know that sounds insane, I always have ebb and flow periods where I'm then usually it's really long ebbs where I'm oh god, and I'm dragging myself along, forcing myself to create because I have deadlines, I have projects and things that I have to do, and so I have to psych myself up and be okay, we can do this, we can make this, and then get through those pieces. And then for, the flow periods, I'm okay, I'm kind of okay with my art right now. But I'm still having to do that initial, wake up and be okay, we can do this, and then I'll get through it, versus, in the ebbs, it's okay, we can do this, and then I'm miserable the whole time I'm working on it. Not because I dislike making art, but just because, okay, so for me, art block, it might sound crazy that I said that I've been art blocked for 2 years, but the reason that I say that is because for me, art block is not as simple as I sit down in front of my canvas, in front of my sketchbook, in front of my iPad, and I can't create, I can't make anything. It's not as simple as not being able to start and finish a piece. To me, art block is more of the feeling, what you're experiencing as you are creating. And for me, for the longest time, whether that's I'm just not satisfied with my current skill level, or maybe I'm not into the subject, or maybe I'm, not allowing myself to work on things that I actually want to work on. I just have been struggling for the past 2 years to actually enjoy the art making process. And have I made pieces that I am proud of in that time period? Absolutely, yeah. Because sometimes I will sit there and I will psych myself up and I'll force myself to draw, and sometimes, yeah, I'm gonna make some bangers because it's just statistically gonna happen, as opposed to disliking every single piece. It's just statistically improbable. If you like making art, eventually you're gonna stumble along a subject that you like and enjoy, and put a lot of effort into and love the end result. Is statistically what is gonna happen. But recently, like I said, I've hit kind of a breakthrough period. So I'm gonna talk a little bit about that. But before we do, as usual, I just want to talk a little bit about the illustration you guys are seeing on screen. So this is one of my friend's tabs from Baldur's Gate. I know nothing about Baldur's Gate. I know nothing. I know some of the characters' names. I know Gale. I know Astarion. I don't know which one. I don't know. I know Karlach. And that's it. That's it. Oh no, there's another girl. Oh no, it's not a girl. They're not a girl. Who is it? I don't remember. I don't remember. Those are the characters that I know, and then I know a bunch of people's tabs because I don't know. I have been getting so many Baldur's Gate commissions, and this is one of them, but this one is technically barely a commission. This one was a commission by force from my dear friend, who bought me Resident Evil 4, and I demanded that they commission me because that's an expensive game, and they were not allowed to just send me the dough for that game. I love this friend, okay, you guys? I love them so much, so dearly. I mentioned in jest because I just finished Resident Evil 3 and I was like, now I need to get a ton of commissions so that I can afford to buy Resident Evil 4 so I can continue my deep rooted obsession with the Resident Evil franchise that spawned out of nowhere in September of all time periods. Do you guys want to know the day? It was Raccoon City time, I'll tell you that. Do you know how terrifying it was to spawn in those games, pick up a note, and read the date of the day that it was? It was September 28th was not the game the day that I started playing, but I absolutely picked up a sheet in that police station, a sheet of paper that said September 28th, and it was September 28th, and I screamed. Anyway, I, in jest, was like, I need to get a bunch of commissions so that I can play Resident Evil. And then they said, check your PayPal. And I said, I hate you. What do you want? Give me your character. Give me your Baldur's Gate character because I know you've been playing it. So this is our lovely Tav, who is so badass, and I'm obsessed with their character design. I really, really love their design. So I'm just going about rendering this in the background. I have been, like I said, doing so many Baldur's Gate commissions. I've been drawing people's tabs with the love of their lives, and it is so much fun. But again, I know nothing about the games, so if you comment and ask me a question, I don't know. I don't know. I just know that these people are pretty and I draw them. So yeah, this is my tab, or not my tab, my friend's tab. Very fun. I cannot wait to have one of my own someday when I can afford to buy Baldur's Gate. Oh, video games, the artist's enemy. Anyway. So this is their tab. Love this illustration. Rendering them was so much fun. I've been doing that thing again with the eyes. I stared at the eyes for so long. I don't know if they're probably not rendered by the time that you guys are seeing this, but on the off chance that they are, they look awesome. I absolutely love doing the new airbrushy irises that I've been doing. They are so cute. They're so pretty. They make me so happy. They so much serotonin when I draw them. They're so satisfying. And then I've also been doing extra work, like more in-depth shading around the whites of the eyes. I used to just do like a multiply layer with like a blue or a purple or whatever color suited, you know, the what do you call it, the overall illustration, the color palette. That's not the word that I'm looking for, but you know what I mean. I would just take a multiply layer, do it over half, blend it out at the bottom, and that was it. And that looks fine, you know. It served its purpose. But lately I've been doing this thing where I do that and then I deepen it along the upper lash line, and in the outer corner, and then I also will do like little lines like throughout the whole of it. And I don't know why, it just looks very like a good eyeball. I like it. It makes me happy to draw. But anyway, now that we have the illustration out of the way, we can talk a little bit about my experience with dodging art block. Finally, and I say this with so much confidence because I realized that, among many other things, that when I finally do that video, that I will hopefully eventually get to someday, when I finally do that, I'll talk about those things. But the biggest thing ever that I realized was blocking me, and I've talked a little bit about my Patreon podcast in quite a bit of depth, which is crazy that I was able to talk that much there and then still have so much to say about it. If you want to see that, Patreon podcast is at obviously patreon.com/six.studios. You can get a ton of cool stuff on there. Quick plug, you can get commission discounts, shop discounts when the shop goes up later this month, because I promise the shop is going up later this month. You know, if it's not the middle, then it's going to be at the end of this month. I want this up before December. And when it goes up, Patreon members will get shop updates, or not shop updates. Well, they'll get to know when the shop updates quick, immediately. And then they also get discounts, commission discounts, like I said, monthly rewards if you join the Matcha and Chamomile tiers. Obviously a now weekly podcast. I have switched it up, a weekly podcast over on Patreon, so that is awesome. Just so many things to check out on there. Feel free to go check it out. But anyway, I realized while I was kind of talking on that podcast the real thing, or one of the real things that has been preventing me and blocking me, was how I scheduled my time and myself. And this might not be like relatable to every single person who's art blocked, which is again why I want to do that longer form video. But if you are a freelancer like me, this absolutely is the thing that just everything clicked all of a sudden, and it was my scheduling. I was not allowing myself to take breaks. I did not, even throughout the day, I would take a break, quote unquote. I would eat my lunch and work on pieces. I'm not kidding. I wouldn't like stop to eat lunch. I would go into the kitchen, I would make something to eat, and then as soon as I sat down with my food, iPad goes back open and I'm working. I don't take like 15-minute breaks throughout the day. I don't smoke, so I don't take smoke breaks throughout the day, I don't have scheduled breaks or anything like that. And I didn't have days off because I'm a freelancer. I make my own schedule, which means I can work all the time if I want to. And that is so bad for you. Working 24/7 is awful. It is a stupid thing to do. I understand the wish, the need, the anxiety that fills you, especially as a freelancer when you are in charge of how much income you make, essentially, with how much you promote yourself, which is terrifying. Especially if you're not working with any kind of like agency or anything like that. You don't have somebody that helps you find clients or anything. It's just you rocking it all the time, 24/7, and you doing every aspect of your job. You are the illustrator, you are the photographer, you are the manufacturer, you are the everything. And that's scary. And you feel like you don't have enough time in the world already. Why would you take a day off and give yourself less time to do those things? But I am serious. Do it. You have to have a day off or you will explode. And I mean this so genuinely. If you do not give yourself a day to decompress and relax, you will get art blocked. You will get art blocked and you might not know it. You might not know it because it just feels like, oh, I'm stressed out. It's just because I'm stressed out. I can work through it. No, yes, you are stressed out. You are very stressed out, but you also have art block because you are forcing yourself to work when you are tired, when you are anxious, when you are overwhelmed, when you are understimulated. All of these things, you have to give yourself and your brain time. And something that I noticed was I was still working on the same commission schedule like 3 days is when my turnaround time was about to be. It was like I said 3 to 9 days, but it's essentially 3 days usually was the cutoff where I would start to get anxious. I was working the same turnaround time with 12 clients as I was when I had 2 or 3 at a given time. And I still was telling myself, I was like, I could do this before, why can't I do it now? Probably because you have quadruple the number of clients right now than you did in the past. And I don't know why my brain didn't click on that. I just was like, I used to be able to finish things in 3 days. Why can't I do that now? Because you have so many more clients and you only have so many hours in the day, you insane little freak. I don't know why I did not pick up on it. And I was trying to work at the same turnaround time, and eventually what really made this realization happen for me was I started unintentionally giving people slower updates because I couldn't get to them all in the time that I wanted to get to them to. And I started to realize nobody is asking me for an update after 3 days. In fact, I messaged somebody and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. It's been a week and a half. Everything has been so crazy. I've been trying to get things together. I've been doing all of these things. Here's your update. And they were like, I forgot I even commissioned you. This is such a pleasant surprise. Take all of the time that you need. And then that started to happen more and more. I would wait a longer time, again, unintentionally, because I'm just scrambling to finish everybody's things. And every single time I messaged somebody, I'd be like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. It's been so long. Here's your update. I forgot I commissioned you. How exciting. Take your time. Take your time. Take your time. Over and over and over from every single person. And I was like, oh my God. Why am I doing this to myself? It clicked all of a sudden. I am the one enforcing these ridiculous deadlines on myself, and then pressuring myself when I don't get to them, making myself anxious, making myself scared, stressing myself out. because of something that I did to myself. And that's when I started to realize, okay, I need to change my turnaround time. And I need to extend it, because I have so many clients that I'm working on at once, and I only have so much energy to do certain things in a day. And nobody got upset at me. Nobody got upset at me. I extended my turnaround time, and I enforced my day off. I used to be like, oh, like for the last couple of weeks, months really, I've told myself Wednesday's my day off. But then if somebody messaged me about a commission on a Wednesday, am I going to answer them? Yeah. Am I going to turn on my computer and get on PayPal and set up an invoice or whatever? Am I going to like talk to them about what they want, get all their reference images, put them on my schedule? Yeah. And I shouldn't have done that. I should not have done that. When I am off, I should just not look. I mean, I can look at my phone, obviously, because my games is on there. But, you know, there's silly things and stuff that I can do on there. But if it's work related, I need to ignore it. I need to learn how to do that. I need to, again, learn to enforce my days off. Actually rest, actually relax on those days off. Do things that I want to do, whether that is working on personal illustrations, which I still wouldn't recommend. But if that's something you're really itching to do, that's a great thing. That is a great thing that you are feeling the need and the want to do art. That is a signal that your art block is unblocking. The icicle preventing you is melting. It's great. So yeah, if that's something you want to do, do it. But if it's work related, get away from it. Get away from it. I don't care if it's a little simple message. Don't answer. Don't do it. I know it's scary to ignore client messages, especially like even if it's just for one day, because I also get that panic of like, if I don't answer them right now, then they won't see the message and then they won't commission me and then I'll miss out on blah, 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 blah. Okay. It's one client. It's one client. And if you get a million messages in a day, did you post something? Did you post something, you stinker? On your day off, you posted something and now people are messaging you about it. Don't do that. Don't do that. Really try to take your actual day off, because that's what a day off means. So yeah, it seems so simple. And again, this does not apply to everybody, because I understand that as a freelancer, my art block is a vastly different experience compared to somebody who, you know, maybe does art as a hobby or does art on the side or something like that. But on the off chance you are a freelancer, or you are somebody that, you know, maybe you're not a freelancer, but you do a handful of commissions, I would actually get yourself a schedule. Maybe look at your turnaround time. And again, allow yourself time to decompress, allow yourself time to rest. You know, especially if you're working on art as a side. I know that when I was, something that I would always do is I would get really anxious and I'd want to work, or I want to draw on my days off. But at the same time, I wouldn't, because I was so exhausted from my, you know, my main job, that I didn't want to do anything. And that was so frustrating. So yeah, maybe if you have, you know, 2 days off a week, consider one of them your day off, and then the other one is the day off where you screw around and draw. I don't know. I wish that I had that foresight when I was doing that, but instead I just stressed myself out and I never drew, and I made myself really upset. So yeah, that is something that I would recommend. I hope this advice is a little bit helpful to you. If it's not, that art block video will come someday. I hope. And I'll talk about a lot of other things that you can do to push through your art block. But for now, just kind of take a look at, what would you call it? Take a look at your process and sit down and think, is there anything that I am doing that is putting an immense amount of pressure on myself that I can eliminate, or that I can move around, or that I can change to make my life flow a little easier, to be more comfortable when I come down to create my artwork. But yeah, that is it. Thank you so much, you guys, for watching this video. If you have watched it for this long, I know it was very rambly. It is so hard to illustrate such a vague concept, or not really vague, what I guess it kind of is, such an abstract concept, I guess, that I'm only just starting to finally understand and grasp of again after 2 whole entire years. But I appreciate you guys so much for watching. I also very much appreciate my patrons: Elise Thompson, Duran, Mandy, Sleeps, Created by Twins, Inky Moo Art, Psychwalker Art, Fish Nor Flesh, Akita Kai, Watery Turd, and Daru. You guys are amazing. You are the reason I am able to create these videos and these illustrations and all of that. Again, if you want to check out the Patreon, it has a ton of cool things on there. We also have the merch vote currently going on for November to decide this month's rewards. It is totally random. I believe it is between cyberpunk and like shark gajinkas or like sea animal gajinkas, because my partner was like, I've been seeing so many people drawing like lemon sharks and like all of these other things, and I'm like, that is adorable. I want to do that. So the vote is open to literally anybody, because I want anybody to be able to decide what the rewards are, see what a vast majority of my audience wants, so that when I make them, the people that want them can decide if they want to join the Patreon to get them, because that makes sense. Anyways, feel free to go and vote over there. I love you guys so much, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye.